I think there are so many things that I think this could be said of anyone really, but ways that you were raised that stay with you in adulthood that you don't even realize could be a reflection of how you were raised. So I have a lot of those, and rarely do I think I notice that the the connection definitely until later on, but sometimes I do. A random one is like when I make a meal list, sometimes I will write it down on this little piece of paper and then I'll stick it on a magnet on the fridge. And I did that for a long time before I realized Dad does that too. Is that where I get that from? I don't know. So I think a lot of those things are just little like tastes of the impact that Dad has had on my life.
And I'm very grateful that Dad is still a big part of my life, and that he's still a big part of the lives of my family and my children. It's been really enjoyable to bond with him in specific ways, like the sports discussion. Me and Dad, maybe more than anybody else in the family, enjoy kind of the minutia of sports at times. I know Ike's a stats guy, so he might enjoy it a little bit as well, but not just the stats minutia, but more just like, this guy's looking really good, and maybe this player is going to be able to fill that gap, and he's going to be able to take a leap, and just all these ridiculous discussions that we have as sports enthusiasts. Me and Dad can go on for hours and hours. When I was driving back from St. George on the Sunday night, back up to Eagle Mountain so that I could go to work on Monday, and I said, this is a perfect time for sports talk. And so give Dad a call, and we I don't remember what we spoke about. It was probably of the whole range of BYU, NBA, MLS, the U.S. men's national team soccer. We probably did the whole gamut. I think we spoke for maybe over 3 hours on that drive, and it's just wonderful. And I really enjoy those sports discussions that I have with him to this day.
I mean, they're right there. We see them every week. Still get to go to BYU sporting events with them. We see them almost weekly at Sunday dinners. We have all sorts of traditions still with holidays and not holidays. So, shoot, man. We see them all the time. Very involved. Who knows how that'll change in the future based on if and where and when any of us move out of Utah or go to different places. But for now, it's been pretty steady for my entire life as far as their involvement. There's never been a time where they haven't been involved.
I talk with Dad on the phone fairly regularly. Again, we're separated by distance, but at any time he goes fishing, I'm his fishing buddy still, but we don't go fishing together that much. So anytime he goes fishing now, he'll give me a call and give me a fishing report. And so we'll talk fishing, and we'll talk sports and various other things. And so yeah, I still talk to Dad a good amount. And then whenever we do get together, like rare times like this vacation, we spend a good amount of time together. We actually go fishing.
One thing that I really want to mention is Men's Day. We did ours quite recently.
We try to have one Men's Day a year where we go golfing and we eat a lot of meat, and we might be able to fit in a kind of manly movie in there.
The men's days that have been referenced, which I think all of us also really, really enjoy, can get a little bit childish at times. There's no denying it, as we're trying to distract each other when we're in mid backswing on the golf course.
Probably one of the best parts about Men's Days is how much we end up laughing at each other's bad strokes. That's definitely something that will stick with us. Dad has definitely had his share of bad strokes. And so have the rest of us. I mean, we really, we're not going to quit our day jobs, but that's been a lot of fun.
He still wants to do that with us, and we want to do it with him. I want to do it. I want to keep doing that as long as we can.
It's just a lot of fun, and it's fun to have Dad there as he's throwing in his ridiculous dad jokes.
I guess that's just one thing a year, but I love that we still do it.
When it's the right time of the year, we watch sports and things, and like once a year now, it's kind of a tradition that we all go to a BYU football game, and so I'll see him when I get to go to those.
We just recently started a tradition of attending a road game away for BYU football every year, or at least when we can. We didn't in 2020 for obvious reasons. This last year we went to Washington State, which we all really, really enjoyed. Just spending time together, spending time with Dad, and enjoying one another's company, being ridiculous, making each other laugh, just bonding and building memories. And Dad's certainly in the middle of that.
Going on road trips to catch BYU games, going, to catch USA soccer games as well. That's been something that has been important, and is how he continues to be a part of our lives.
I'm always grateful to reconnect in person, in particular when we visit, and I have loved getting to watch Dad as a grandpa to my kids. That's been really fun. I love getting to see that relationship because I have love for my dad and I have this love for my kids. So getting to watch them appreciate each other, that's wonderful, wonderful.
He goes to our kids' games. He can't afford to go to everything, obviously, but he wants to know, when are they having a cross-country meet or dance recital or whatever it is. He wants to know about it, and he wants to come to what he's able to come to. I really appreciate that about him. Priesthood session hasn't been a thing for a little bit now, but he's continued to invite us to go with him, those of us that are close enough.
I'm grateful that he can be, that he's a big part of our life. Just the weekly, get-togethers at dinner, or if we attend a BYU basketball game together, or just something like that, where I'm glad that he's there, and I'm glad that he can be there with my children, to be an example to the children, because they all love him to death. They love Papa, and they love spending time with him, and so overall, Dad is still definitely a big part of my life, big part of all of our lives, for sure, and we're all better for it.
I still rely on him sometimes for counsel and advice. There was a very brief period of time that was pretty sweet a couple of years ago when we both overlapped and we had the same calling as Elders Quorum president, and so that was unique. I was able to get Dad's advice and on the same calling that we had at the same time. That was kind of fun. We still talk, and when possible, we go fishing together. And so he's still a big part of my life.